After going through emotional storm or periods of low mood, we often ask ourselves, is there a way to feel happier, more grounded, more resilient? Positive psychology offers exactly the kind of light. It doesn't deny trauma, but instead invites us to shift our focus toward the beauty that still shines in life. It's not about fixing what's broken, but nurturing what's still growing. Not what's wrong with me, but what's still alive within me. In the end, we come to realize that happiness isn't something we feel only after everything gets better. It's a state that naturally emerges when we learn to make peace with the present and appreciate what's already here. And this deep, steady kind of happiness, it's a gift of purple.
Yoo-hoo! Welcome to Galaxy Manifesto. This is Yvonne. On the journey of learning love and wisdom, we're never alone. If this is your first time here, a warm welcome to you. This is a space where we use color perception to begin an inner journey, a place to awaken your sixth sense, explore your subconscious, and move forward healing and joy from the inside out. Today it's the very last day of May, a moment when spring's energy begins to fade and summer quietly starts to unfold. For many of us, this is a transition period. Maybe you're getting ready for something new, or maybe you're still sorting through the emotions and experience you have collected this past few months. If that's the case, give yourself a little breathing space today. Take a moment to slow down and gently ask yourself, what am I longing for? What do I want to let go of? What am I ready to welcome in? And if you happen to be feeling a bit uncertain, in between, or like you are in the middle of a personal transformation, then guess what? You are in exactly the right space. Today, we will begin at the very edge of change. This threshold where something old ends and something new begins. Today, we will turn inward, listen to our soul's color, and notice the clues your subconscious has been quietly offering. Let this day be more than just the end of May. Let it be a gentle pause, a space where your transformation quietly begins to bloom. Friendly reminder, if you would prefer to skip the meditation and go straight to today's topic, you can use the timestamp in the video description to jump directly to the main content.
Now I invite you to find a space where you can be completely quiet and alone. You may choose to sit down or lie down. Allow yourself to fully relax and feel at ease in your surroundings. Gently close your eyes. Now I want you to turn into yourself. Listen to the vibrations of the singing bowl in this moment. Let its frequency pass through the air, slowly wrapping around your body. Let's begin by focusing on your breath. Slowly exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. If you notice thoughts arising in your mind, that's okay. It's normal. There's no need to push them away. Simply and gently bring your attention back to your breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now, as you exhale, try to imagine that all your worries and negative emotions are like a cloud of gray black smoke slowly being released with each breath out. Exhale, inhale. Let go of everything that no longer serves you, everything that no longer belongs to you. Release it completely with your breath. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. If some emotions feels especially heavy, that's okay. There's no need to rush or force them out all at once. Just release a little more with each exhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Keep breathing this way, feeling your breath becoming lighter and slower. Your body seems to merge with the air around you, as if you can no longer tell whether you are breathing or if the world is breathing through you. Exhale, inhale.
When you are ready, gently move your fingers and toes, keeping your eyes closed. With this deep sense of calm, ask yourself the first question: what color is my feeling right now? Once you receive your answer, ask yourself the second question: what color is my emotion right now? As you ask these questions, shift your perspective upward to your third eye and observe what color you sense in this moment. After receiving answers to these two questions, I would recommend writing them down as a record for future references and analysis. If you don't see or sense any colors in your initial color perception practice, that's completely okay. Instead, try silently repeating the name of colors in your mind: red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, black, and white. Let each color pass through your visual awareness one by one until you feel that particular color truly presents your current state. Color perception exercises are closely related to strengthening our sixth sense. I encourage you to learn to trust your intuition. Most of the time, the first image of idea that comes to mind without overthinking is your most honest inner voice. Just stay open and optimistic as you explore your own sensory experience. There's no right or wrong here, only discovery. This unique color perception method that I have developed is designed to enhance our intuitive spiritual connection with colors. This progress focuses on strengthening our sixth sense, using intuition to perceive the colors associated with our current physical and emotional state. Through this practice, we can gain deeper insight into our subconscious mind. In the upcoming video, I will analyze different color combinations present in the form of cards. Together, we will explore how to perceive and interpret emotions through colors. And I will provide corresponding explanation to help us better understand our inner subconscious. Today, let's talk about a very special color energy combination: the purple on top, deep purple on bottom card pairing. As the name suggests, this combo places a lighter shade of purple above a deeper, more saturated one, like soft lavender laid over a rich indigo. The overall feeling it gives off is spiritual and serene, almost like glowing purple moon in a quiet night sky. It carries with a sense of intuitive guidance and emotional depth. Purple is often seen as a mythical and spiritual color. It merges the passionate energy of red with the calm, reflected nature of blue, creating a tone that holds both warmth and introspection. When we see hue like this, we're often reminded of emotional stability, inner calm, and that quiet voice within our intuition. Many people feel an instant sense of grounding when surrounded by purple, as if their sixth sense has just awakened. What's fascinating is how this color pairing deeply connects to both the High Priestess in the tarot and the moon in astrology, two archetypes strongly linked to intuition, emotion, and the subconscious. The High Priestess represents the quiet power of inner wisdom. She sits in stillness, seeing beyond appearance into deeper truths, radiating a calm, mysterious, and sacred energy. Meanwhile, the moon governs our emotions, inner needs, memories, and dreams. Those hidden or often unspoken parts of ourselves that live deep beneath the surface. In the world of spirituality and energy healing, purple is also associated with our crown chakra, the energy center at the very top of the head. This chakra symbolizes our connection to divine consciousness, spiritual wisdom, and our higher self. Many believe that as our spiritual awareness grows, The crown emits a soft violet glow. That's why this particular color combination, purple over deep purple, is often seen as a gentle awakening of spiritual energy. It carries the wisdom and calm of higher consciousness, offering a quiet invitation to reconnect with your true self. In this pairing, the lighter purple above symbolizes clarity, sacred insight, and divine inspiration. The deeper purple below represents emotional depth, inner safety, and the quiet strength of our internal world. Together, they form a bridge between soul and universe, helping us understand our emotions more clearly, reconnect with buried intuition, and even tap into long-dormant creative potential. Whether you are already familiar with mysticism or psychology, or just beginning your journey, today's exploration can offer you a fresh way to understand your inner world. And maybe, just maybe, show you how the energy of color can guide your healing and growth. The purple on top, the purple on bottom color combination symbolize a gentle fusion of serenity, sacredness, and deep wisdom. It's like a quiet bridge between the soul and the universe. This palette leaves a positive emotional imprint in the subconscious, evoking the feeling of being seen for your intuition and awakened by your inner wisdom. It brings a sense of divine protection, allowing you to feel peaceful inside and joyful in being truly understood. The upper layer of purple corresponding to the crown chakra, representing spiritual awakening and clarity of intuition. The deep purple below grounds us like the earth, holding the energy of deep emotional strength and transformation. These colors resonate deeper in practice like meditation, art, and spiritual symbolism, helping us connect with ourselves, nature, and the divine. Altogether, they create a gentle yet steady sense of calm, one that brings a feeling of inner integration, dignity, peace, and inspiration. Positive emotional imprints are often formed during warm, affirming experience. There are moments like when we feel loved, encouraged, inspired, or hopeful. Purple is a color frequently linked to such feelings. In psychology, violet tones are shown to support emotional balance and calm, bridging our inner world with the outer, and helping to soothe the emotional ups and downs of life. Purple symbolizes imaginations and dreams, inspiring us to look toward the future while gently calming the present. We all carry within us memories colored by warmth, perhaps a cozy lavender sweater from childhood, or a glowing purple sunset from a quiet evening. Those beautiful feelings became subtly tied to the color purple, leaving their imprints in our subconscious. So later, when we encounter that same tone again, our mind often brings back that emotional memory, giving us a spontaneous sense of ease and comfort. For instance, you might walk into a softly lavender themed cafe and feel instantly relaxed or warmly familiar with the space. That's your subconscious gently recalling a happy memory stored in association with purple. The color itself naturally creates a cozy and mysterious atmosphere that encourages relaxation and emotional openness. From a mystical perspective, these positive emotional imprints are seen as gifts from the soul. Purple is considered a high-frequency spiritual color, set to connect us to higher levels of consciousness and bring about transformations and elevation. Many philosophers and spiritually inclined individuals are naturally drawn to purple because it expands awareness and helps us access deeper meaning in life. When we experience high vibrations moments infused with purple energy, like a sudden insight into the meaning of life or a creative breakthrough, that's the crown chakra is believed to activate. as through a doorway to higher wisdom has quietly opened. This powerful experience leaves behind imprints of happiness in our subconscious. They don't just fill us with personal joy and fulfillment, they can also radiate outward, positively affecting those around us. In fact, research shows that when someone emits a clear, gentle, positive energy, others feel more relaxed and uplifted simply by being near them. So, as you gather more of these beautiful purple imprints within your inner world, your energy field begins to soften and glow, carrying with it a subtle healing warmth that others can feel too. Although the purple on top, deep purple on bottom combination symbolize spirituality and wisdom, when this energy becomes imbalanced, it can leave behind challenging emotional imprints in the subconscious. Excessive introspection or over-reliance on intuition may lead to disconnection from reality, triggering feelings of loneliness, self-doubt, or emotional repression. The mystery and depth represented by deep purple when unsupported can easily shift into anxiety, avoidance, or fear of unknown. On a psychological and cultural level, this color pairing may also evoke collective emotions tied to sadness, loss, or isolation. When someone remains in this energetic state for too long, it can create a pattern of appearing calm on the outside while feeling tight and tense within, and eventually leading to disconnection from others. This reminds us that spiritual exploration, if not grounded and integrated into real life, it can result in emotional overwhelm or inner confusion. This type of emotional imprints are simply the parts of us that carry wounds, feelings in need of healing and transformations. Life inevitably brings setbacks, heartbreaks, or fears that leave trace in our hearts. For instance, maybe you were laughed at as a child for having a vivid imagination, or scolded by adults by speaking your intuitive truth. Such experience may have planted the seed of shame or fear around your inner knowing. One unique quality of purple energy is its heightened sensitivity. Purple is very responsive to emotional and environmental shifts. And if you have ever been hurt while in a sensitive state, perhaps fully trusting your intuition or being deeply immersed in a dream, those wounds can cut even deeper. Deep purple in particular often symbolizes this hidden emotional injury. It is mystery and beautiful, yet slightly melancholic. If this energy isn't balanced, people may become overly withdrawn, pessimistic, or experience unexplained feelings of sadness. Studies in psychology have even shown that overexposure to purple can increase depressive symptoms, especially in individuals already prone to emotional sensitive. That doesn't mean purple is inherently negative, but if our inner purple energy is out of balance and we spend too long trapped in negative fantasy or self-pity, we're more likely to fall into emotional lows or shadowy mental state. Emotional imprints are deeply etched memories left by our past experience, some warm and joyful, others painful and in need of healing. For example, a failed exam might leave a fear of competition, or childhood ridicule could cause anxiety in public setting, but these imprints aren't life sentences. Psychology tells us the brain is adaptable. Through new, positive experience, we can gradually rewire our neutral pathway and soften the scars of the past. The key to transforming this emotional imprints is acknowledgement and healing. First, we need to recognize that this feeling exists rather than suppressing or ignore them. Techniques like meditations, hypnosis, or mindfulness practice can help us communicate with the subconscious and release buried fear and pain. This process isn't always easy, but every time we face our inner shadows honestly, we begin clearing the way held in that lower deep purple layer. In my own experience, when I visualized sending a warm beam of purple light to the little wounded child inside me doing meditation, I felt something gently unlock in my heart, a tightness that slowly began to soften. That's the healing at work. Gradually, those old imprints can be transformed. We no longer fear or feel ashamed of our intuition or imagination. Instead, we start to embrace them and rebuild trust in our inner purple light. It's important to remember that healing rarely follows a straight path. It's often more like a spiral. We may revisit the same theme more than once, but each time we gain more wisdom and compassion. Positive psychology emphasizes the incredible resilience and growth potential of the human spirit. Even after trauma, with support and self-care, we can extract meaning from pain and become stronger and more empathetic. As psychologists often say, our trauma does not define us. It's the healing journey that shapes who we truly are. So through conscious practice and self-love, we can transform past emotional burdens into opportunities for growth. Let your inner purple become a source of strength, guiding you gently forward. The purple on top, the purple and bottom color combination represents a profound connection to spiritual awakening, inner wisdom, and emotional calm when it comes to happiness imprint. This color often appears in moments of meditation, artistic expression, or mythical experience, bringing a sense of fulfillment and insight that transcends ordinary reality. They evoke a deep sense of safety, stability, and divine support, a reminder that we are connected to something greater than ourselves. Such happiness imprint may come from having successfully integrated emotions, complete inner healing, or experience clarity and awakening through solitude or contemplation. However, when this color combination appears in an imbalanced or ungrounded energetic state, it may also leave behind trauma imprints. Overindulging in spirituality, excessive introspection, or having intuitive experiences that are misunderstood can lead to self-doubt, emotional suppression, and isolation. Deep purple, when associated with moments of being challenged by authority, felt spiritual rituals, or emotional neglect, may awaken memories of frustration and helplessness. This trauma imprint are often the result of spiritual pursuits that weren't fully supported or became overwhelming, causing fear of the unknown and disconnection from the self. Life is much like a purple painting, marked by both the light strokes of lavender and the shadows of deep purple. Understanding how these two types of imprints influence us help us develop a fuller, more compassionate view of ourselves. Happiness imprints feel like gifts from the soul. Maybe it's the gentle smile of your mother in childhood, the joy of a fulfilled wish, or that moment in meditation when you felt enveloped by the love of the universe. This experience gets quietly stored in the subconscious, forming an internal foundation of stability and joy. They help us build a core belief, I'm worthy of love, making it easier to trust others and receive warmth and support. Spiritually speaking, this positive memory nurtures the heart and crown chakra, helping us align with higher frequency of love, peace, and joy. Trauma imprint, on the other hand, are like silent reminders of the moments when we were hurt. It might be a time you were belittled, an intuitive truth that was dismissed, or emotional needs that were ignored during your upbringing. These imprints lie deep in the subconscious, and it felt unacknowledged or unhealed, subtly affect our behaviors and emotional reactions. They might cause us to withdraw, become defensive, or fear the unknown when faced with similar situations. within the symbolism of purple over deep purple. If this energy is left unbalanced, it can lead to isolation, self-doubt, or emotional suppression. The good news is that happiness and trauma imprints are not fixed opposites. Inside each of us, it's a kind of inner archive that stores both joy and pain. Much of our psychological growth comes from learning how to navigate that archive, amplifying the positive effects of our happiness imprint while gently healing the trauma-based one. In therapy, there's a technique called resource-oriented therapy, which focuses on activating the client's inner positive resources, aka happiness imprint, to support them in moments of vulnerability. For example, before guiding someone into their traumatic memories, a therapist might first help them recall a moment of deep warmth and safety. This becomes their internal safe haven. With that emotional support in place, the client can more safely access and process painful memories. It's like having two inner sleeves, one the wounded inner child who's carrying trauma, and the other the loving inner parents who's holding happiness and strength. Through practices like inner child healing, we allow the inner parent to embrace the wounded child, releasing long-held pain at the subconscious level. Over time, we can even extract gifts from our trauma, transforming those wounds into new happiness imprint. Many people are going through deep emotional healing will say, even though that time was painful, I now appreciate love more. I understand others more deeply. That's one way trauma imprints transform into source of wisdom and compassion. In summary, happiness imprints are like inner treasures, while trauma's imprints are the scars that wait to be healed. Through self-awareness and intentional practice, we can nurture the former and gradually mend the latter, creating a more integrated and emotionally balanced self, or nurtured by the healing energy of purple.
When we talk about the psychological state represented by the purple over deep purple color combination, we're not just referring to spiritual awakening and heightened intuition. It also gently reminds us to stay aware of psychological blocks that can quietly grow beneath the surface. This color pairing emphasizes inner exploration, but without proper integration and support. That depth can easily turn into emotional withdrawal. People may become overly immersed in their inner world, leading to escapism, self-doubt, emotional suppression, and even social withdrawal. Deep purple symbolizes mystic, silence, and hidden power. But if there's no strong internal foundation to hold that energy, it can easily turn into anxiety, isolation, perfectionism, or fear of the unknown. Many psychological obstacles originated from early emotional imprints and subconscious beliefs. Thoughts like, I'm not lovable, I will always fail, or the world isn't safe, aren't usually caused by present events, but by layers of unsolved childhood trauma. These internalized beliefs act like invisible shackles that pulls us back into our comfort zone the moment we're about to break through. For example, a highly talented person might hold themselves back out of fear of failure. Someone in a loving relationship might struggle to fully trust their partner despite genuine care. Or a deeply created soul might hesitate to even start. They're afraid their work won't be perfect. These are all classic signs of purple energy falling out of balance. This is especially true for those who are naturally sensitive and emotionally rich. The frequencies of purple resonate deeply with them. It can awaken powerful spiritual intuition, but it also increases vulnerability to overthinking, self-doubt, and fantasy. Over time, this can weaken the connection to reality. Purple invites us toward dreams and the unknown, but it can also stir up anxiety about invisible risks. We long to dive into the subconscious, but fear that going too deep might make us lose our way. Real healing doesn't come from suppressing fear or pretending we're fine. It begins by gently acknowledging what's there. That's exactly what the reversed High Priestess card teaches us. She sits between two pillars, symbolizing balance, presence, and trust in inner wisdom. She reminds us that before we act, we pause. In fear, we stay awake. Instead of trying to shatter our blocks, we first learn to coexist with them. For example, when I realized I have anxiety about public speaking, I stopped forcing myself to push through. Instead, I acknowledged the fear. I am really nervous right now, and that's totally okay. That moment of self-compassion was the first step in bringing my fear into the light. I started practicing in small settings, gradually building confidence. Slowly, those inner voices that once held me back began to soften. This is a reflection of what psychologists call behavioral experiments or gentle exposure therapy, taking small steps to gradually rebuild trust and restructure our belief system. In short, the psychological imbalances tied to purple over deep purple shouldn't be seen as flaws or weaknesses. They are signals with hidden potential for transformations. They are reminders that our inner darkness isn't bad, it's just waiting to be seen and understood. Through awareness, acceptance, and practice, we can begin to thaw those frozen emotions. Fear can then become a gateway to our truest self, and the wisdom and mystery of purple can transform into a source of strength that helps us move forward. When we talk about the color combination of the purple on top, deep purple on bottom, it symbolizes more than just spirituality and intuition. On a deeper level, it represents a personality type characterized by profound introspection and heightened perspectiveness. Individuals who resonate with this energy often possess strong intuition and artistic sensitivity. They are emotionally nuanced, inwardly rich, and capable of drawing wisdom and inspiration from their inner world. They tend to value spiritual growth and the meaning of life, enjoy reflection, appreciate beauty, and have a unique philosophical outlook on existence. However, when this energy becomes imbalanced, these traits can also lead to excessive introversion, emotional suppression, or even disconnection from reality, because such individuals naturally attune to deep emotions and subconscious. Without proper psychological integration and grounding, their sensitivity can become overwhelming, leading them into overthinking or the vortex of fantasy. In truth, everyone's personality is like a multi-layered onion. On the surface, we show traits we're used to presenting, perhaps friendliness, logic, or optimism. But as we peel back that layers, we discover hidden aspects of ourselves, some of which even we might not be aware of. For example, I once thought I was easygoing until a friend jokingly pointed out how obsessively detail-oriented I could be. It made me realize I have a strong perfectionist streak in certain situations, a voice from my subconscious that have gone unnoticed. Psychologist Carl Jung once described personality as consisting of conscious ego, the personal unconscious, and the collective subconscious connected to the culture and humanity as a whole. That means the self we recognize and express every day is only the tip of the iceberg. Beneath it lie many unseen facets, some only revealed in certain contexts. You might be calm and professional at work, playful and childlike at home, and quiet and cautious with strangers. These obvious contradictory expressions are actually just different aspects of your personality functioning in harmony with different environments. Understand this help us see that purple over deep purple is not only a symbol of spiritual exploration, it also represents the journey of coming home to our whole self. It invites us to discover those fragments of our personalities we have never fully acknowledged and learn to coexist with them peacefully. As we begin to accept all this side of ourselves, light and shadow alike, we can consciously integrate and realign them, turning our personality into a more complete and authentic mosaic. Ultimately, we come to understand that every obvious contradictory part of us is simply a different color our soul longs to be experienced. And when those colors are embraced and integrated through the energy of purple, we're no longer defined by just one side of ourselves. We become a deeper, more grounded, and spiritually empowered version of who we truly are, the whole unified self. The color combination of purple over deep purple symbolizes a journey of spiritual awakening leading to inner integration into the context of positive psychology. Purple corresponds to intuition and creativity, representing moments of inspirations and connection to the higher self. Deep purple, on the other hand, reflects deep introspection, emotional stability, and the wisdom that settles within us over time. Together, they form an energetic flow from the crown chakra down to the third eye, helping us process past experience through mindfulness and reflections, and build a meaningful inner value system and emotional resilience. After going through emotional storm or periods of low mood, we often ask ourselves, is there a way to feel happier, more grounded, more resilient? Positive psychology offers exactly the kind of light. It doesn't deny trauma, but instead invites us to shift our focus toward the beauty that still shines in life. It's not about fixing what's broken, but nurturing what's still growing. Not what's wrong with me, but what's still alive within me. For instance, during a difficult time, I tried keeping a gratitude journal. At first, it felt silly. My days were so ordinary. What was there to be thankful for? But as I kept going, I started to notice the little things, like the bus arriving on time, a friend simply asked, "How are you?" or the warmth of a bowl of soup at lunch. These tiny, easily overlooked blessings became small anchors that kept me emotionally grounded. And after a few weeks, my inner world really began to shift. The anxious part of me started to soften. I found myself smiling more, feeling more present and calm. Positive psychology emphasizes two essential elements, optimism and kindness. Optimism doesn't mean being naive. It's the belief that we are capable of navigating through hardship and that the future holds possibility. Kindness, too, becomes an extension of inner strength. When we choose to care for others, we are often nurturing our own spirit at the same time. One of my colleagues visits elderly people who live alone every week. He once told me, "It's not that I'm helping them. They are the ones helping me to see the beauty of life." Under the energetic frequencies of purple over deep purple, we learn to restore trust and stability within ourselves by integrating spiritual awareness and emotional insight. That's the heart of positive psychology. It's like a beam of violet light reminding us, even after the darkest nights, there's still a light within us, guiding us back toward hope and growth. In the end, we come to realize that happiness isn't something we feel only after everything gets better. It's a state that naturally emerges when we learn to make peace with the present and appreciate what's already here. And this deep, steady kind of happiness, it's a gift of purple. It's a spiritual wisdom and soulful resilience that sustain us through life's ups and downs. The purple over deep purple color combination symbolizes a spiritual journey that begins with intuition and leads into deeper layers of the soul. It's a process of building and aligning one's value. Purple represents spiritual awareness and connection to the higher self, while deep purple stands for grounded introspection and core beliefs. The color energy encourages us to begin from within, to honestly face what we truly value, and to bring those values into real-life action. Ultimately, becoming someone who can radiate and live out positive principles with real influence. In the voyage of life, our values are like a compass. They guide our decisions, shape our attitudes, and influence how we view the world. But for many of us, our earliest values were pre-installed by our families, cultures, or society, like the common belief that success equals a prestigious degree and a high salary. I once chased those goals too, driven by the desire for achievement and external validation. But one night, I had a quiet moment of clarity. What I truly longed for was creativity and passion, not a title or a paycheck. That realization led me to re-examine my life. I saw how value not rooted in our own truth eventually makes us feel lost. But when we're willing to confront our real desire and realign our decision, even if it's uncomfortable or slow, we begin to feel more grounded because we're finally living more in tune with who we really are. True value formation isn't about blindly following or rebelling. True value formation isn't about blindly following or rebelling. It's about consciously choosing what are we willing to stand for, what really matters to you. Maybe you were raised in a family that prioritized traditions and stability, but your soul craves adventures and freedom. Or maybe you are in a highly competitive environment, but you deeply value corporations and kindness. In those moments, it takes courage to not just go with the flow, but to act from your own inner true north. It's like building a home within yourself. First, you identify your core value: honesty, freedom, creativity, love. And then, brick by brick, you live them out. Over time, your value system becomes clear and stronger, turning into a solid anchor for every life decision you face. No matter how the outside world shifts, you can calmly say, "This is what I believed in, and I will live by it." The energy of purple over deep purple brings exactly this kind of steady, profound inner guidance. It's not about becoming what others expect of you. It's about becoming someone who lives in alignment with their soul's truth. No matter how the outside world shifts, you can calmly say, "This is what I believed in, and I will live by it." It's about becoming someone who lives in alignment with their soul's truth. And when our values match our inner self, we don't just feel peace and fulfillment. We also inspire others who are still finding their way. That is the most beautiful kind of life path, one where spirit and reality meet, and where we walk through the world with both purpose and grace. The color combinations of purple over deep purple symbolize a journey of inner growth, one that moves from surface awareness into the depths of the subconscious. From logical thinking to spiritual wisdom, it's a process of stillness, reflections, and transformations. True maturity doesn't always come from age or external achievements, but rather from inner cultivations and the evolutions of the soul. Inner growth often happens during ordinary yet challenging moments. It's not a sudden overnight transformation, but a strength that builds quietly, little by little. Every time we face emotional turbulence, overcome psychological blocks, or clarify our values, our soul undergoes a quiet rebirth. It's like walking a long road, and somewhere along the way, we suddenly realize something inside us has shifted. This kind of change isn't about dramatic makeovers that others can see. It's more like becoming emotionally flexible and resilient. I remember when I first entered the workforce, I used to get anxious, tense, even lost sleep under pressure. I constantly worried I wouldn't make it. But now, after weathering some storms, I look back and see how things that once overwhelmed me no longer have the same power. It's not that life got easier, it's that I grew stronger inside. I have learned how to face stress, how to breathe, how to ask for help, and more importantly, how to stop being so hard on myself. All of this is part of inner growth. Inner growth can be subtle, like the changing face of the moon, easy to miss unless you are paying attention. Maybe one day you realize you are no longer clinging to old regrets, or when something unexpected happens. You find yourself trusting that you will figure it out. You stop reacting from emotion alone and begin choosing how to respond. That's when you will surprise yourself by thinking, I have really changed. Growth doesn't have a final destination. At different stages, through different people and experience, we are constantly learning and we identify who we are. Sometimes it takes a major event to spark a breakthrough. Other times, it's years of quiet refinement. I once heard an elder say he used to have a hot temper when he was young, but raising children taught him patience and tenderness. They were my greatest teachers, he said. Many people find growth through meditation, journaling, or quiet inner dialogue, slowly untangling confusions and reconnecting with a more stable version of themselves. Inner growth isn't just about becoming stronger, it's also about becoming softer. We begin to understand that anxiety and fear aren't enemies to destroy, but inner voices asking to be seen and held. We stop running from ourselves and start making peace with our shadow, turning our wounds into gateways of wisdom, like the spiritual depth symbolized by purple. The purple over deep purple combination represents not only the crown chakra's pathway to higher consciousness, but also the integrations of elevated insight with deep emotional roots. It reminds us that real growth doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means becoming the version of ourselves that has always been there, patiently waiting to be understood and fully expressed. The purple over deep purple color combination symbolizes humanity's shared pursuits of spirituality, wisdom, and harmony with nature within the collective culture subconscious. It's more than a visual pairing of hues. It's like a timeless spiritual language, carrying historical memories, mythical symbolism, and subconscious resonance. From twilight skies to sacred ceremonial drapes, from the robes of ancient priests to the shawls of modern spiritual teachers, this color duo has long been woven into our intuitive associations with the sacred and the unknown. Let's begin with the culture and historical significance of purple. In the West, purple has long been associated with royalty and divine power. Roman emperors once wore Tyrian purple, a dye so rare and costly that it symbolized ultimate authority and dignity. Even today, the phrase "born to the purple" refers to those of noble birth. In the East, purple also carries spiritual and auspicious meaning. The phrase "purple air" comes from the East, signifies blessing and sacred omens, while the Forbidden City in ancient China took its name from the purple star, 紫微星, representing the emperor's celestial mandate. Across time and culture, purple constantly appears in context of religion, royalty, mysticism, and spiritual power, as if this color naturally holds the energy of higher consciousness. This symbolic association lived on in what Cao Yan called the collective unconscious, a deep layer of psyche shared by all humans. Yan compared our minds to islands, fully separate but connected beneath the ocean by a shared foundation. Culture symbols, mythological archetypes, and our emotional response to certain colors are all expressions of this psychic ocean. And among this, purple is one of the most spiritually charged, whether it's the robes of a mystic, the aura of a wise priestess, or the cloak of a wizard. Purple constantly embodied the bridge between earthly reality and spiritual realms. Fascinatingly, this influence still lingers in our lives today. You may have felt drawn to the color purple since childhood, without knowing why, but once you learn that purple represents spiritual awakening, ancient wisdom, and inner transformation, you might realize you have been unconsciously responding to the archetype of a spiritual healer or a mythical sage. Your preferences isn't just a matter of personal taste. It's a resonance with a shared collective energy that's been passed down through generations. For modern people, understanding this symbol in our collective subconscious offers more than just intellectual enrichment. It brings a sense of inner recognition and belongings. When you hold a piece of amethyst during meditation or warp yourself in a deep purple straw, you were not just using a color. You are tapping into the memories and intentions of countless souls before you. This isn't just poetic, it's healing. It reminds us that we're part of the vast spiritual lineage, a thread of violet light stretching from the past into the future. So next time you gaze at the color purple, try letting go of personal preferences, whether you like it or not. Instead, feel into its stillness and depth. Consider how many people before you dreamed, prayed, or healed with this very color. How many, just like you, have felt their souls stirred by its presence. In the grand canvas of human culture and spirit, purple over deep purple isn't just a color palette, it's a living echo of collective longing and sacred memory. And you too are a stroke in that dreamlike violet painting. The purple over deep purple color combination symbolizes the flowing fusion of inspiration and inner wisdom. It invites us to draw creativity from both intuition and deep emotional insight. Purple brings spiritual inspiration while deep purple provides grounded focus and introspection. Together, they help transform creative impulses from abstract imagination into concrete expressive action. This color pairing often showed up in space where people engage in art, philosophy, or spiritual practice, as it helps break through creative blocks and connects us to a subconscious source of inspiration, turning inner vision into meaningful expression in the outer world. But why is purple so often associated with creativity? It comes down to the unique psychological effect this color has on our minds. Purple is the blend of red and blue, two very different energies. Red represents passions and actions. Blue represents calmness and thought. Put them together and you get purple, a color that balances energy with calm, just like the ideal state for creativity. Creating something new requires both fire and stillness, both spontaneity and contemplation. Purple gets the stage for that perfect flow state, where your mind is alert but relaxed, open yet focused. That's why color psychologists often suggest using purple when you need to spark imagination. Studies even show that being in a purple tone space can increase imaginative thinking and associative creativity. It's as if the color opens a doorway to your inner dream world, letting scattered thoughts and images come together in new, unexpected ways. So what can we actually do to invite more creativity into our life? One very simple tip. Start with color. We have already talked about how purple can activate your imagination. That's why many artists love to add purple accents to their studio to create a sense of mystery and inspiration. You can try placing a soft purple light near your workspace, or when brainstorming ideas, look up at the night sky or surrounding yourself with objects in purple tones. This subtle visual cues might gently nudge your subconscious into a more creative mode. Another powerful aspect of purple energy is its link to unconventionally thinking and bold imagination. As we mentioned, purple often represents non-conformative and breaking free of old patterns. So when you are trying to solve a problem or invent something new, purple can remind you to challenge the norm and explore more daring ideas. Try setting the mood for a creative section with a bunch of lavender nearby, or some abstract purple art. Let these signs encourage you to move past thoughts like, that's not realistic, and instead ask, what if I try something completely different? And most importantly, keep it playful, stay curious, let yourself wonder like a child. Why not give it a try? Often, it's not a lack of talent, but the fear of making mistakes that blocks our creativity. But when we allow ourselves to play, explore, and fail without judgment, surprising ideas are more likely to emerge. Creativity lives inside all of us. It's just that sometimes it acts like a shy kitten. If you start too hard, it hides. But if you relax and play a little, it might just come out and surprise you. By tapping into the power of your subconscious and creating space for fun and experimentation, you can reignite your inner creative spark and open up new possibilities in your life. We have come to the end of this video, and what a journey it's been. Let's take a moment to gently walk things up with a warm recap. Today, we explored the deep, energetic meaning of the purple on top, deep purple on bottom color combination card through a first-person storytelling lens. We look at this theme from 10 different perspectives. We begin with the emotional imprint of joy and how purple helps us connect with higher awareness and bring calm to our hearts. We then move into shadow sides, the emotional imprint that needs to be improved. Learning how purple sensitivity can also highlight what still needs healing. We reflected on how happiness and trauma imprint shape our subconscious and how trauma, when transformed, can become wisdom. We examined psychological blocks, recognizing that only by gently facing our fear can we break through illusions and access inner clarity. Then we dove into personality traits often linked to this color: intuition, empathy, creative depth, and sometimes a tendency toward detachment or idealism. From a positive psychology standpoint, we explore how meditation and spiritual practice boost well-being and help us align with purpose. We discuss value, how this color energy supports building a soul-aligned value system that's true to who we are. We trace our inner growth journey, recognizing how, like traveling through a purple night, we emerge into a brighter, wiser dawn. We explore the collective subconscious, discovering how purple represents humanity's timeless longing for mystery, spirit, and higher knowledge. And finally, we looked at creative activation, how purple energy can awaken our inspiration, dissolve blocks, and open doors to new ideas. Well, that was a rich, meaningful exploration, wasn't it? Maybe throughout this journey, your perception of purple has shifted. It's no longer just a color. It feels like a quiet companion, a presence that's walked with you through key moments in your life. When you were confused, it whispered you back to your intuition, just like the high priestess in the tarot does. When you were afraid, it lit a gentle path forward, like the moon, which may be dim but still shows the way. When you needed ideas, it sparked a light in your mind. When you were ready to grow, it showed up through synchronicity, placing the right people and lessons before you. This purple energy has always been inside you, waiting to be embraced. So here's my heartfelt encouragement as we close. Start making friends with your purple energy in daily life. Set aside just a few minutes each day, maybe to meditate, journal a dream, sketch with purple, or simply sit quietly and watch the sky shift into evening's violet hue. Let purple gently weave into your rhythm. You might notice the differences, that your anxious moments pass more quickly, ideas come when you least expect them, and your empathy in relationship deepens. This subtle change are signs for real inner growth. To close, I would love to leave you with one final image. The High Priestess Tarot card. She sits calmly with a scroll in her lap, a veil behind her hiding the mysterious beyond. She looks ahead with quiet knowing, as if to say, the answer you seek, they already live within you. The scroll she holds is said to read Torah, symbolizing divine wisdom, but perhaps for each of us, it contains our own soul's blueprint, and maybe the way to read it isn't with the eyes or the mind, but with the heart. As you begin to connect with your own purple energy, piece by piece, you will begin to read that sacred scroll and understand the deeper meanings behind your life's lesson and gifts. Thank you so much for staying with me through this long but tender sharing. Before we part, let's do a short heart-centered practice together. Close your eyes gently, inhale slowly, and imagine a soft glowing purple light expanding in your chest. Exhale and picture this light forming a radiant aura around your body. Now say to yourself, I trust this wisdom of my intuition to guide me in growth and creation. Inhale again. Let the purple light soothe and strengthen you. Exhale and send blessing to those you love. When you are ready, gently open your eyes. If you can, take a moment tonight to connect with your purple energy. Write down any insights or feelings that come up. That might just become one of the most precious gifts you give yourself. I hope that in the day ahead, you will continue walking alongside this mysterious and beautiful energy. Trust your inner wisdom like the high priestess. Embrace your inner shadow like the moon, and turn them into fertile ground for creation. I can't wait to see how you use your own shade of purple to paint your unique masterpiece in life. In our next episode, we will continue exploring deeper topics around self-awareness and emotional evolution. Gratitude to the universe. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share so more people can discover the magic and meaning of colors, intuition, and soul connection. Until next time. Yoo-hoo!